As if you needed another reason not to be fat in 2023. You fat, your body gets old quicker than the fit counterparts. It's science, man. You can't argue with that. Excess body fat can age your brain faster than your muscle. Of course, known that for a hot minute. Okay. And now, if you really need to drive it home, or if somebody out there stupidly enough just wants the receipts on this stuff, well, allow me to provide that for you. Staying fit as you age is far more about the aesthetics. Increasing research shows that maintaining healthy levels of body fat and greater muscle mass has an effect on your brain, or your brain health, and even your rate of cognitive aging. It is known, for instance, that being obese in midlife and late life is associated with worse cognitive aging. Once more, the amount of muscle and fat that you have may be a more important factor in how your level of fluid intelligence decreases over time than your chronological age. So your ability to be dexterous with your thinking, that's what they mean by by fluid intelligence. Your chronicle age, your age in years, is just a numerical measurement. Yeah, tell that to Epstein. But your real age is your biological age as dictated by your choices and habits, as well as your modifiable risk factors like levels of muscle and fat. Cool. So a study from Iowa State, data from 4,431 adults were examined to compare levels of lean muscle mass, abdominal fat, subcutaneous fat with changes in fluid intelligence, the ability to solve problems in new situations over a 6-year period. Those with higher amounts of abdominal fat had worse fluid intelligence. I don't know why that's so difficult to say. With age, while those with greater muscle mass were protected against such declines. In fact, women who had greater muscle mass tended to have better scores in fluid intelligence during the study period. Study co-author Auriel Willett, assistant professor of food science and human nutrition at Iowa State University, said in a news release, chronological age doesn't seem to factor in fluid intelligence decreasing over time. It appears to be biological age, which here is the amount of fat and muscle. Cool. What's more, the study revealed a link between the immune system and how changes in fat levels affect cognition. All right, I'm all ears. Now, previous research suggests that higher body mass index, kind of a worthless measurement, but okay, leads to greater immune system activity in the blood, which in turn activates the immune system in the brain with a negative outcome on cognitive function. Okay, so you run the risk of higher levels of autoimmune dysfunction? Is that what we're talking about here? Featured study also find that changes in white blood cells called lymphocytes and eosinophils. Okay, explain the link between abdominal fat and worsening fluid intelligence in women. In men, basophils, another type of white blood cell, were linked to about half of the link between fat levels and fluid intelligence, the study found. What an awkward sentence that was. Lymphocytes, eosinophiles, and basophiles may link adiposity to cognitive outcomes, researchers explained. Similar research has revealed that overweight and obese individuals have greater brain atrophy in middle age. No, we don't want atrophy. We want hypertrophy. And corresponding with the increase in brain age of 10 years. Ooh, so if you're fat, your body's aging at about a decade quicker than you are. Don't like to see that. Obesity has multiple effects on the brain, including anatomically speaking. Okay, obese individuals may have reduced gray matter in brain regions such as the hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, and other subcortical regions. Atrophy of the hippocampus, in turn, has been linked to Alzheimer's disease. Oh no, they get so fat that they don't know what to do about losing weight. Oh no, they forget how to exercise. Gray matter is the outer layer of the brain associated with high-level brain functions such as problem-solving, language, memory, personality, planning, and judgment. Interesting. So I guess it's not so much a glandular problem of people being fat anymore. They just become more stupid. Interesting. Even the elderly people who are otherwise cognitively normal. Obesity is associated with measurable deficits in brain volume in the frontal lobes, anterior cingulate gyros. Okay, gyrus? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's gyrus. I don't know words and stuff. Hippocampus and thalamus compared to individuals with a normal weight. Further research published in radiology found that obesity may lead to alterations in brain structure, shrinking various regions. Among men, higher total body fat percentage was linked to lower brain gray matter volume. Specifically, 5.5% greater body fat percentage was associated with 3,162 millimeters MM3, a lower gray matter volume. I wish cubic millimeters? Is that what we're talking about? Maybe that would make sense. Okay. Among men, 5.5% greater body fat was associated with 27 cubic millimeters smaller globulus pallidus volume. Incantation. An association seen in women. In women, 6.6. Greater body fat percentage was associated with 11.2 cubic millimeters smaller globus pallidus volume. Globus pallidus is the brain region that plays a role in supporting a range of functions, including motivation, cognition, and action. All right. Obesity was associated with changes in white matter microstructure, which may be regulated to cognitive function. Cognitively speaking, there's also a strong link between obesity and deterioration in cognitive function, as well as other brain disorders such as dementia, anxiety, and depression. Further past research, there we go, that didn't make much sense beforehand, has linked midlife obesity with an increased risk of mild cognitive impairment changes in short-term memory and executive functioning and dementia. Obesity's effects on brain health are also due to its associated health problems, including heart disease, diabetes, and atherosclerosis, each of which have their own deleterious effects on your brain. For instance, as noted in Frontiers in Neuroscience, obesity-derived vascular problems such as atherosclerosis and arteriosclerosis, which are systemic diseases, very difficult to pronounce, at least for me, maybe I'm just slow, are known to affect the steady blood flow of vessels that feed the brain, thus contributing to cognitive impairment or even a stroke, where large areas of the brain die due to the stop of blood flow of a major brain artery caused by a blood clot. In terms of diabetes, which obesity is a key risk factor, having this condition in midlife is associated with a 19% greater cognitive decline over 20 years compared to not having that condition. Even those with pre-diabetic and significantly greater cognitive decline than those without. Indeed, epidemiological studies have linked type 2 diabetes mellitus with cognitive impairment and dementia, with insulin resistance and hyperglycemia as a probable mechanistic links. Coming full circle, eating a highly processed junk food diet not only increases obesity, but also can lead to elevated blood sugar levels that in turn can lead to impaired glucose metabolism and type 2 betas. Both diabetes and higher fasting glucose levels are linked with lower total brain volume. Impaired glucose metabolism is associated with neurodegeneration and impairs cognitive function. Connection begins not only in old age, but much earlier, such as following a healthy lifestyle in young adulthood may be protective against cognitive decline later. Cool. Stop eating bad in your youth, otherwise your brain's going to go kaploot later in life. To just dumb it down for everybody. Obesity can trigger chronic inflammation in your body, and chronic inflammation in your brain, neuroinflammation as it's known between us colleagues, is known to impair a neurogenesis, the brain's ability to adapt and grow new brain cells. Is linked to neurodegenerative disorders such as Alzheimer's disease, and it's been suggested that obesity may serve as an amplifier or initiator of chronic inflammation observed in AD patients. Further, higher levels of inflammatory markers have been associated with lower brain volume, including greater atrophy than expected for age. Excess body fat, particularly visceral fat, the fat around the organs, is also related to the release of proteins and hormones that cause inflammation, which in turn can damage arteries and enter your liver, affecting how your body breaks down sugars and fats. So therefore, kind of makes you fatter because your inability to process nutrients efficiently. Interesting. According to a study in the Annals of Neurology, adipose tissue derived hormones such as adiponectin, leptin, Resistin and ghrelin could also play a role in the relation between adipose tissue and brain atrophy. Further, obesity may be associated with a lower volume of brain regions that regulate food reward circuitry, possibly influencing overeating. Yeah, because ghrelin is the satiation hormone. Okay, it tells you when you've had enough. And leptin, I do believe, is hunger. It's been a minute since I've researched those hormones. I might be getting them mixed up, but I definitely don't know anything about adiponectin or resistin. That's the functions of those two, leptin and ghrelin. I just might have it mixed up. But yes, if you overwork those two receptors in the brain that release those hormones, yeah, that could definitely have an influence in how your body responds to things. That makes sense. It makes sense. While obesity takes a toll on your brain, increasing muscle mass protects it, which is likely one reason why strength training has been found to be beneficial for your brain. In other words, your body's physical strength may serve as a marker of your brain power. Yeah, exactly. And then also, if you're strength training, then you have to train your body in order to program some muscle memory. Also, yeah, know which muscles to help with your lifts. Resistance training to be a little bit more technical, of course. Jesus, I'm just tripping over my words today. It's so dry outside lately that I've just been chugging water and I just can't get my mouth to stop clapping back and forth and muttering over words. So my apologies. I'm not stupid. It's just the weather's playing funny games with me. That's why I don't like the winter in northern Alberta. Sometimes it gets annoying and it affects my output. I don't like it. So yes, running a resistance training regimen, it's going to help you activate different centers in your brain, knowing that different muscle groups need to be activated at a certain time. Definitely would help keep your brain dexterous, even if it is fighting a battle on the hormonal front as well. In fact, yes, strength training is known to trigger beneficial neurobiological processes leading to positive functional brain changes, including in the frontal lobe, with corresponding improvements in executive functions. One systematic review even found that strength training led to less white matter atrophy in the brain, with the researchers noting, taken together during the aging process, a substantial decline in muscular strength, especially in lower limb muscles, occurs, and accumulating evidence suggests that lower muscles or muscular strength are linked to poorer cognitive performance. Hence, resistance strength training, obviously. A single bout of resistance training, also referred to as acute exercise, and resistance strength training. More than one resistance exercise session, also referred to as chronic exercise, seems to be promising activities to ensure the prevention of physical functioning and cognitive functions with aging. Regular strength training, in addition to other forms of exercise and daily activity, is an important strategy to keeping your brain sharp and may help to offset some of the cognitive decline that occurs with age. Of course, this has been something that has been theorized for a hot second, but now that it's been effectively researched, maybe some of those, consult the experts type folks will be able to take this stuff seriously now going forward. So, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.